Hello, whip and chat time. Well, whip and waffle even. Yesterday I completed Pride, Diamond Art Club's painting. So that makes 2 this month. So I started Beekeeper and a little bit of Pride on the 1st of June. And I finished Beekeeper on the 9th. And I finished Pride yesterday. Pride was a bit of a pig, I have to say. I don't know whether I had like a new canvas and old drills or something. I don't know whether I'm just clutching at straws on that one, because getting the drills in was a nightmare and they kept pinging out. So, you know, I'd be working along, complete a section, on to the next section, and by the time I looked up, there were ping, 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 empty spots, and the drills were nowhere in sight. And it's like, ugh. So I had to do a lot of stabbing down, and there was a, you know, it seemed to be like a click going on quite a lot, and then the next minute that drill will be up again. So it's nice. I have to say that when I got onto this one, which I did, oh dear, I keep doing that. I did that much of, hold on, can you see, I did about that much of on the first sitting. And because this one has to be can be finished in the end of July, this one took a back burner to the other two. But what I'm determined to do is finish this one off before the end of June. So that I've made 3 this month. And that'd be my record, and then I can just slow down, because that's the events that I've done then. So this one, did that one, and I did a whole row, and I did all the black bits yesterday. God, that was a pig, because the black on this one was clumping like the purple on Pride was, on Beekeeper we're doing. On Beekeeper, they were very oily drills. One set of purple, I can't remember what colour it was, what DMC it was, but yes, so I was like, oh God, here I go again. And yes, so I washed these ones, but it didn't have the effect as when I washed the purple ones. When I washed the purple ones, they worked lovely after that. When I washed these ones, no, they still clumped. So when I get to kitting down that video, the black on this painting, I will not be keeping. Yeah, because it's just, see, look, there's another one coming. Where did he steer from? Where did he come from? Has he popped off from somewhere, or was he just lying around? I think he was just lying around. Heard his name being called. Right, so let's see where I am. Oh my God, I had, oh, where's my pen? Oh no, I had it a minute ago. What is going on? There it is, I think. Yeah. I had a delivery yesterday. Now, blimey is all I can say. I kind of wanted to get the scratch card, you know, as you do, thinking you're going to get the biggie. You're going to get the jackpot one. But no, I didn't. I scratched it off and I got that. So I'm hiding the code because I might want to use it. But this one, I won £10 voucher with a £40 minimum purchase. So is it really a win, considering I still have to spend? And at the end of the day, I kept thinking about it, and I kept thinking, well, we get so many discounts any rate, and you know, I've got my reward points, and you can only use one lot at a time. Now if I was to use this one, the scratch card, I would still end up international, because I'm international shipping, I'm in the UK. I would still end up having to pay for my shipping, because yes, I suppose I could get several canvases, which then would entitle me to free shipping, but then to get $10 off, it's not really a good bargain, because as it is, I got 4 paintings. Yes, you heard me right, I got 4 paintings. I ordered them on Monday and they arrived on Friday. How quick is that? That was amazing, considering after the last lot that I did, oh my god, it took forever. But these came so quickly. And I used 4,000 of my reward points to come off that, which was something like, was it $40? So that was like $10 a piece, each 1,000. But then I found out, after I spent and did all that and I was getting my emails in, I had an email which said, with that order I have earned 4,196 points, reward points. So I went, but I spent 4,000. So it's like I haven't spent those 4,000 points. So I think that's a far better way of doing it. Now, if they'd offered these scratch cards, because there was only minimum amount, they only supplied so many, didn't they? And they said it's on a first come first served basis. But I think what they should do is they should say that you can use this alongside any other, you know, alongside one code, you know. Single use code, no cash value, not valid with any other offers. There we go, not valid with any other offers. And I think they're missing a trick there. I think for these ones, because they only had a few that they did, limited amount, that they could have made those, you know, they could be used with one other. And then it'd make it, because at the moment all they've done is pretty it up and made it no difference to their leaflets, which they have 10% off, or, you know, slips. On the slips they're 15% off. Now what do I do with that slip? I need to check whether it still had the 15% off. Can I find it? There it is. Right, the packing, little, you know, these things. So they've changed the code on this one, and they've got buy one get one at 50% off with a code, with this code. So that's quite interesting. You can barely read it. It's that bit along there. But yeah, so and what got me was, because with this, because it's being international now, and I haven't had this before, is that I had one of these on the outside, and it basically said how much they were charged, you know, the value. Now bear in mind, this is not an insured thing, but hopefully they will, you know, still honour it if you haven't got it. And you won't be left thinking, well, I've just paid out and I've got nothing and blah blah blah. But it's got the 4 pieces. Let's put my glasses back on. It's got the 4 pieces, right? And they've given a unit value of 29.92. I assume because this was done in the States, it would be in dollars. But it's quite interesting how they haven't put the dollars or the pound signs. So they could turn around and say, oh, well, that's UK 29, or whichever one's the highest value. But look what they've done. The scratch card, they've still done it at 29.92. And my scratch card is not worth that. It's only $10. And I know they can't really put it on. They've probably averaged it out of all the amount. But either way, it's still the same as a painting, which I just thought was interesting. So, while we may see 29.92 here, that could well be the price of the canvas and the drills. and then the extra amount that we pay them is obviously them for doing it, and also goes towards the artist. So I think that's how they are doing that, but don't know. Right, this isn't getting this painting done, me waffling on. Look, I'm still eating my breakfast. I've had my peanut butter and on pita bread, half portion, but now I really need to get onto this, because what I want to do today is I might not go down to there, it might be about them, same width as that one, and I might do that. I want to do a whole length, and I would like to, if I can, do either the ones or the dots on the whole painting, on the ones. And right, so let's get cracking. Oh God, and look at the colours. Talk about a lot of these. Lots of browns, supposedly meant to be golds. Right, let's go for which one should I do to get over and done with. Right, I need that one off. And just put that there. Oops, wrong side. Yeah. And I'm going to get this one off as well, because I'm going to try and do 2 at a time. Oops. Don't know what that is. A bit of sticky. Oh, don't go back on. Right. Oh, come on. Need my scalpel. Now, I use my scalpel. I press hard, but I don't press really hard, shall we say. I press enough to get that sound. But only do that if you're confident in the way your knife performs. Because I do not want to be held accountable for you going through your canvas. And I find going at an angle helps better. Probably because I've got a bit of a dull blade. Right, here we go. I've got these. I could get my my what's it called out, but I won't. Oh, look what I had yesterday. I went to do some food shopping, and when I came back via our Turkish barber's place, and where they have birds. And they have them out. They had them all out in their cages. But there's one who's a parrot. He's a gorgeous parrot. He's called Cuckoo, and he climbed up onto me and did the obligatory, you know, try to unclothe me. Poor lad. But he was having a bit of a scratch down as well, and he gave me this. And if you can see it, he gave me his little feather. Beautiful, so soft and downy. So I kept that. But, well, yes, so anyway, that's a little by the by, and I still haven't got on any here. Right, I'm going to do K's because there's quite a lot of K's. Right, so here we go. It means I have to multi-place. Now, I've been having fun and games. It's the heat that's been doing the fun and games, which has been interesting. I've got some Abby's Diamond Putty in here. But in this heat, oh my goodness, I forgot to put this in the fridge last night, which is a bit of a pain. But in this heat, it tends to heat up a little bit. Any putty does this, any you know, whatever does it. And it heats up a bit and then gets a little bit stringy, which can be a pain because then it can leave some stuff on your thing. But in that end, in my single place, I have a glue dot. I did have some of the putty, but I don't know why I took it out. I wasn't getting the click again sound, so I took it out. Yeah, here we go. Let's start. See if I might need to fill this in. I don't know if you can see this. Oh dear. Try not to get this down too far that it gets in my way. But yes, it certainly seems a little bit cooler today. So that's something. Which I'm thankful for because I don't do heat. Yeah, so I did my food shopping yesterday and I did, well, I did bad. I did bad. Yes, they had on special. And you can't not do it. Well, even I can't because these are my Achilles heel or whatever it is. But they had the large thing of Toblerone, both colours, on special, reduced from £5 down to £2.50. So of course I had to get it. But the thing is, I'm a type 2 diabetic. So that was incredibly naughty. And I've got a slight headache now today from eating some of it. Oh dear. So I get a sugar headache because I haven't had sugar in such a long time. I mean, I'll have natural sugar in an apple or whatever, but I don't do sweets and I don't do chocolate, except very, very occasionally. It's like having a drink of alcohol, because I don't drink either, but it's like having a hangover from that, and it's, oh, not good. But well, so I shouldn't have had that. But when it's gone, and that's it. That's my thingamajig fix over for a while. Which is probably the worst way to do it. Because then I'm getting too much in one go. And on the 3rd, I've got my diabetic eye screening. Whoops. And on the 4th, I have an operation. My operation that has been rescheduled from last month. No. Was it? Yes, it was last month. To the 4th. It's operation on my arm. So I've been trying to find ways of how to sort of sleep, because I am going to have, I don't know, a bandage. I don't know if I'll have a cast on or anything like that. I don't know how they work it. Cubital tunnel release. So I'm going to have to find ways that I can sleep. I really should find better ways to sleep anyway, you know, more perhaps ergonomically. You know, I keep watching these, you know, my favourite Untamed, and how they sleep. They sleep with one of those big, thick, round things which you think, God, that must be doing their necks in. And they lie on their backs to sleep. Now, is that a good way of sleeping? Does anybody do that? Can anybody do that? Because I find I could start off like that, but when I wake up, I'm not there anymore. Of course, I keep thinking back to like Memoirs of a Geisha, which is slightly different, obviously, but they have to sleep on that funny little stand on their neck, and they're not allowed to what's the word, fall off of it, and they're given rice or something on it or whatever, and if they wake up the next day with rice, they've got to keep going until they can do it properly with no rice. So you kind of think, where am I? What am I doing? Which century am I in? But yeah, so I don't know. I have a splint, but I can't find it, and I'm buggered if I'm paying out again for a new one when I've got one already. It's possibly in the cupboard under the stairs. Perhaps I should ask Harry Potter to hunt it out. You know, Accio splint. Yeah. and then it'll be but then I don't know whether I'll be able to wear it. I won't be able to have it on for a while anyway, I should think, because I should be bandaged up. Yes. I'm hoping that it'll work. And I'm hoping that the pain that I get in my arm, because I get pain down here, yeah, and I'm hoping that it will help ease that off. It doesn't help because usually we sit with our arm bent and we lean on things, so I need to find a better way of doing things. Because at the moment I'm now doing this with my arm, and it's slowly being trained into that way, but it's not, because it twists in my back, which then plays up my muscles, which then kicks off my fibro pain, which is sort of already there, but it makes it worse. Yeah, so I have to find a better way. Now, would a different chair help? Because at the moment I'm using just a dining chair, table chair, you know, one of those hard ones. It's a solid chair. It's not a, you know, it's not, as we say, a chair that you had to put together, which is sort of a little bit weak and a bit flimsier than this. This one came all put up. So I don't know whether I need a different chair, and if so, what sort of chair. And this one doesn't have wheels. I'm on carpet anyway, so, you know, carpet and a rug. I don't know, but I think I could do with maybe a better chair. But then at the same point, this chair is just right for the table, and I think that's half the battle won. I think that's why it could have been a lot worse if I'd had the wrong height chair for my table. And that's one thing that sort of gets overlooked. We either look for a table or a chair, but we don't look for one that is compatible with the other a lot of the time. And sometimes we do, but a lot of the time we just go with a table we like, a chair that we like, and we try and marry them together. And yeah, they may look good, but are they actually realistically that good for your posture and everything? Well, so I need to look into that. I'm sure somebody's done the maths already, so maybe if I typed in, you know, the height of my table and then find me the suitable chair to fit. But then I suppose you'd then have to go into all kinds of things, like how high I am, my leg, if you want to get it really perfect, what your leg length is sitting, because some people have a taller torso, a longer torso than they have, you know, legs. And then work it from there. But I think if I was to measure this height of this chair to the table, from the table, you know, height of the chair seat down to the floor, and then look for chairs that are that height, I should be okay. But then, do I want one of these air lifted ones which then could, you know, adjust to that height? But then would they adjust to the height that I need? And see, I have all these questions going on inside my head, so choosing a chair is a killer for me. Because then it's like, okay, I like this chair, but then if I was to, does it lower to the exact height that I need it, or does it lower just a little bit above or just a little bit below, which could actually just make all the difference between overstretching type of thing? Because I'd need one of the levels on one of those chairs to be exactly the height that my chair is at present. Or am I just being too finicky? But I know that in my head, my OCD is going to kick in, and I'm going to, it's going to bug me, because I'll just keep thinking about it, and I'll just keep trying to get it the same height. And I'll know, even if somebody was told me, yes, they've done it, they've sorted it, it's all right, I would still know that it hadn't been done. Yes. It's going to be interesting. Or not. It's only a chair. Whoops. It's nothing. I hate when it does that. And then drops the drill. Goes stringy and drops the drill, and you just like, oh. See, if I put this in the fridge last night, it would have been better. But I didn't. I was just too tired last night. Oh, that headache. Oh, go away, headache. There's one just above the eyes. Does it feel like a hangover? I'm getting a chocolate hangover. And what's the answer? Have another bit of chocolate. No. Hair of the dog. Could you actually really call it a hair of the dog when it's chocolate and not booze? Oh dear. Oh well. Yeah. What paintings is everyone working on? And what sort of genres do you like most? And which are the ones that you don't go anywhere near with a barge pole because of some reason? And what is that reason? I'm not too struck on all these dark ones. And these sort of dark wolves and, you know, those type of ones. But having said that, I have got a painting which is of some wolves, but they are colourful wolves. Name that painting. I should be doing an unboxing and then a kitting up when I get round to it, but definitely an unboxing of the painting shortly. I've still got quite a few unboxings which are coming up. As I do the unboxings, send them out once a week. And yeah, so I've got a few, and then I try to get the kittings up sort of the next day, filmed to go up the next day, or you know, within that week. It's trying to organise when to film and what to film. I mean, I haven't been able to film much this week because we've had workmen outside, and what they're doing is that they are digging out the old grout
and they're going to be regrouting it, pointing it even, not grouting, is it? It's pointing. So they were using lots of loud vibrating drills, so I couldn't do any proper filming, which has been a bit of a pain. But can he be helped? Oh, is my tea cool enough? Probably not. It's probably still way too hot. Way too hot. I got up late today. I mean, I was awake early enough, but I just stayed in bed. I was watching one of my Chinese Korean dramas that I watch. No good. Oh, ow, 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 I can't get it out. Oh my God. Ow. Oh God. There's nothing I can't do. It's my bad hand, and it's the hand that I have to, where I'm sat, I have to reach to the fridge. I can't lift anything really heavy. Because I either drop it or I just can't do it. And this was really heavy. So I must remember to hydrate myself today. Because of all the chocky I had. God, it's easier putting away. Oh yes, that's good. Oh, that's a bit of apple. That might help. I should try to eat quietly, because I know that the sound of eating can trigger some people. But well, I need to add more of these. Oh, I just want to go back to sleep. Maybe I should just cancel today. But I'm very aware that tomorrow is Sunday and I usually see the grandkids. So a lot of my day tomorrow is going to be taken up with them, so there'll be no diamond painting. And I really want to finish this before the 30th. So I'm not having to, you know, stress out too much that it's not going to be done. And I know that's my own self-imposed timescale, but God, it would be cool to say, yeah, I finished 3 paintings this month. That's my little achievement for myself. I am capable of doing some things. This colour is 976, and yeah, it's not appealing. I won't say what it looks like. Ugh. But yeah. See, when I'm tired and I've got a chocolate hangover, I don't feel like talking. And I can hear somebody saying, well, please don't then. Tough, I'm going to talk. I shall do a couple of time-lapse ones at some point, because they're good to do when you're not feeling on a par. You know, you've just got enough strength to do some diamond painting or whatever, but you haven't got enough strength to talk and diamond paint. I mean, the last few days I've been so tired that I started mucking up. I kept getting, was it P's and K's, I think it was, muddled up. And so where it should be a P, I was putting all my K's, forgetting what pot I had out, and then I had to go off and flipping unpick them all off and then start again. And do you know what, I did exactly the same thing the second time. That was on the Beekeeper. And then and I thought, blimey, this is ridiculous. And then I nearly did it again. And I thought, at that point, that's when you really should back away from the doodah thing. So what I did in the end was, after I took them off, I did a completely different colour in a hope that that would help, and then I did the opposite colour, and do you know what, I very nearly did it all again. No, I just caught myself in time. And so then every time I placed one down, I was like saying, that's K, K, K. Just I'm on K now, which sort of reminded me. Oh, and that's the other thing I do not like about putty. When it sticks to the drill, it's hard to get off. And so that's a drill that ends up in the trash because it's just too flipping gunged up. And I'll put it to the side, and then you get it all on the canvas, which then can block off the colour of your you know, the symbol. And then when you put the thing down, muddy stuff comes up through the middle. It just sticks to everything and never comes off neatly. Now I know I'll go over it at the end when it's if I seal it, and we'll be stiff brushing it, but still no guarantee it'll come off. Maybe I ought to go and just do all the K's. No. I used to, you know, chase the letter, as they called it, or chase the symbol all over the painting. But I soon gave up with that, because after a while on some paintings it was like, oh God, I'm fed up if I see this sort of colour again. I needed a break from it. And also I'd have to have the whole cover off so I could see where I was going, and then of course that got fluffy, and so that's why I started doing into quadrants or whatever. And I have to say, what I do admit is that I will see which colour is going on into the next square, and then I will use that colour last, so then I can just effortlessly go on to the next square without having to, you know, put that colour away and then get a new one. Do you all have various ways that you like to paint? Because I mean, horizontally is one way and vertical is the other way. Do you prefer one way more than the other? I know we have to sometimes do the other because that's the only choice, unless you're single placing, and then it's no matter what. But it is yeah, interesting to know. Get a sip of water. help me wake up a bit more. Having water certainly helps you more than having coffee. Problem is sometimes, and I think my head is turning into a migraine. Yeah. Oh shit. I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, you get that. I get that like at sea feeling. Like I know my head's straight, it's not moving, still, but yet inside I feel like I'm at sea. The up and downs. I just hope it doesn't turn into an ocular migraine. But I don't know, because I've got the headache, and when I get my ocular migraines, I don't tend, I mean I have had the headache, but I don't tend to get the headache. I just get that zigzag over my eye, and I can't see. It affects my eyesight. And then I feel extremely tired and I have to sleep. And then when I wake up I might get a bit of a headache. But yeah, that all at sea feeling is not pleasant. But you see, half that could be just the fibro, I don't know. It's a problem when you get one thing. We don't all just necessarily have one thing up with us. We can have several things and they could all join together. But wow. Yeah, these paintings I've got, I'm really pleased with the choice that I got. I got one that was a little bit perhaps asking for trouble, because it's got quite a lot of black, or that blue black stuff, so that could be one that I could be asking for trouble with, especially after the state of my last blacks and 938s. And that's definitely a break from my usual, because I don't tend to do too much like that, which is colour blocking. But I'd looked at it so many times and I was like, I'm in an ahhing, and I thought, I'm just going to keep in an ahhing. Let's just get it, add it to the stash. You'll get around to it eventually. And job's a good one. Keep thinking I really could do with having a better intro, you know, a proper professional intro, but I don't know, how do you do it? How do you go about doing it? Did you do yours yourself, or did you get somebody else to do it? I need a cheap option. And then how the heck do you add it on to your existing videos? You know, your videos, not your existing videos, but see, I only use YouTube Create, or whatever it is, YouTube Studio, and I edit on that occasionally. So that's where I add the music to the what's it called, time-lapse ones. But it's all basically there for you. Whereas if I have to connect two bits of film together, i.e. my intro and then outro, you know, to my whatever it is that I've done, heck do you do that? That's the bit I would struggle with. No, it's done it again. See, look. I just hate that. There's another one coming off. Oh, that one isn't too bad, and I don't think that one was too bad. It's crazy because it wasn't so long ago that I could, you know, set the timer on the cooker, you know, set the recording on the old DVD player or video for, you know, a week's time, you know, which was pretty technical at one point. And now I feel like I can't do any of it. I just tend to look at things and go, I mean, for goodness sakes, at one point I managed to set up IRCs on my computer back in the day. This was before the internet. Because me and a friend, she lived in the next village on, and I was in another village, and in the town, and we wanted to chat to each other. So this was before, you know, before any of the other ones, FaceTime, Messenger, whatever the MSN was about. No, because this is before that. This is when DOS was king. And I managed DOS all right. Uh-oh. Somebody's calling me and they've stopped my filming. Have they? No. Oh dear, so I don't know what happened there. So all you've been hearing is me waffling on and probably shouting, saying, your phone has gone elsewhere. Oh bugger, so sorry. See, that's me waffling on and not paying attention. But yeah, IRCs, so IRCs as we call them, which seem to be the forerunner to Messenger and all that kind of stuff. And that's how we would communicate. You know, it was probably like the very first voice over the internet phone type thing. But yeah, so I managed to suss that out. Don't ask us how we did it, but we did it, and we did it on our own. And I do recall it wasn't that easy. But that was also when I think when AOL was king. But AOL was ever so expensive. No, actually I don't. I think AOL came after. Yeah. You've got mail. In a proper Joanna Lumley voice. Yeah. It's amazing how technology's come on. Yeah. There's quite a lot which is AI now. A bit worrying at times. Makes me think back to that 1970s series called, I think it was called The Changers, where the machinery took over and suddenly refused to stop working. They just died. Maybe we're heading there. That was scary. I was a kid. But I kind of like half believed it, and I thought it was going to happen. So that's why it really freaked me out. But I had an imagination back then. When I was little, younger, my imagination was rampant, running wild. And so, you know, certain things seemed very feasible to me. Oh, hate it when it does that. Oh dear. I'd love to know how people can shake it and then get it all in the nice, you know, grooves. If I do it, either shoots out the end or it doesn't. That's probably the best I can do it. And then I'll just, first time in, I'll go in and it go twang and it'll all come out. It's like those little games where you've got all those little balls and you're trying to get them in their relevant holes, you know, on the top. And one misshake and that's it. They've all jumped out. Wish my tea would hurry up, and my headache is easing, so it must be the water and the sugar that's doing it. So glad it's not as hot. I've got an air conditioning unit upstairs in my bedroom because I used to work a lot from my bedroom and spend a lot of my time up there, and so I've got an air conditioning unit up there and it's lovely, but I haven't half noticed it eat through the electric, which is a pain. Go again. Yeah. So I can't put it on that often, that much. I will put it on though. I mean, blow it. I can't be too hot. My thermostat's already shot from having fibro. So what I tend to do is you know, I just do it and just, well, it has to be paid for. It's a, you know, necessity. So I will just do it. It's a bit like heating in winter. I will always put that on and think, well, yes, it's an expense and oh my god, how am I going to pay for it? But then, you know, that's it. You know, those things have to get paid for first before anything else. I mean, I don't smoke and I don't drink, and even if I did, I would still pay for my heating and my electric first. And if it meant that week I couldn't get any fags or drink, well, I'll just have to cope and find a way around it where I'll perhaps get rollies or something. And because I did used to smoke, and I used to smoke rollies a lot of the time, and that's quite good because you can get your hit, they go out, and then you just re-spark up. And so a rollie could last you definitely longer than, say, you know, 3 or 4 fags. But it's prioritising, and for me, the aircon is equivalent to people's fags and drink. So you know, pain in the arse though, isn't it? Choosing when you can and when you can't, and worrying about it. I just decided I'm going to try not to worry about things, because when I do, I'll try to add my penneth worth into the mix to try and find ways out of whatever. It always goes tits up, so why bother? Why try? Let's just let it happen, see what happens, and go with the flow. And you know what, 9 times out of 10 things work out, and they can work out in the most unexpected ways that you hadn't even thought about. So you know, sometimes just letting it be, letting it up to nature or whatever, or to the universe to sort out, is better. Because you can't do bigger all about it usually anyway, so you know. And when we're not worrying about something, or not worrying as much and really letting it get to us so much, it tends to be a lot easier to let go of it. But I'm not saying it's easy to do. Oh my God, no. It took me years and years to let go, and I still don't let go in certain aspects. But, you know, I kept practicing it. You know, one of my houses that I was at, and one I bought from the council with my points. And yeah, it was in a rough area, but it was a 4-bedroom semi-detached, and my theory was I would buy it, use my things. I had to be in there for 3 years before I could sell it, and then I would use the proceeds of the sale to buy somewhere where I really wanted to be. But it didn't work out. It was a rough estate, and the neighbours didn't, you know, the kids and things like that didn't like the fact that I was a single parent. I was bringing up my kids, they had things, we were doing lots of things, you know, and I was working from home, and they just didn't like that fact, I don't think. And they used to come and smash my car on a nightly experience, event it was, and throw shit and eggs and gravy at my windows. And yeah, it was like, oh God. And yes, it did get to me. It was harassment. And in the end, after calling the police out one time, one of the cops said to me, saying, you know, we're very limited with what we can do. But he says, but if you go and see, I think his name was Dave or Doug or something like that, Dave, I think it was. If you go and see him, he will sort out the problem for you, and all you have to do is give him a couple of beers. And I thought, this is the cops telling me this. But they were stuck. You know, the fire brigade refused to go up on our estate, as did the bus companies, and the police didn't, only ever came up in riot gear. Yeah, it was really rough. And yeah, but a lot of that was because the council would just kick out, they would just move the troublesome families from one town to another town, and just keep removing. They wouldn't deal with the problem per se. All they would do is just rehouse them, because they had a duty of care to rehouse them. And it's like, well, no, I think once they fucked up, and that's it. They no longer have the duty of care to do anything for them, because they didn't abide by what they, you know, should be. Stuff. So yeah, but so in the end, I managed to sell that house. I did it, sold it, had to sell it through to one of those companies, which was We Buy Any Home or whatever. And they bought it. They bought it for quite a nice amount for the time and the place. And but then it was a pain in the arse because I'd only been in there full year, and the council wanted me to pay back. And I thought, you know, you want me to pay you back after you couldn't do bugger all to help me stay here, you know, with those people. Yeah, you went and gave them letters and talked to them, and it made them just as mad, you know, just worse. I mean, I'd have the mafia, town's mafia outside my doors, they called themselves, you know. But there were like 30 or so teenagers and some other kids who were younger, who were just out, you know, learning the behaviour, basically. Feral. My mum and dad were at the pub. We're not giving it monkeys about what their kids were up to. They it was just crazy. Yeah, so I managed to sell it, and I had this private house that I was going to rent all lined up, and I just basically said I'm going to do it. It was more expensive than anything I'd known, and I thought, oh, blow this. But then I thought, well, I can get some housing benefit for it, because sadly I didn't have, you know, I had to use benefits as top-ups, you know. Working tax, that was it, working tax credits. And I mean, that wasn't as easy as you think, because you still had to fill in lots of paperwork, and each time they asked, the council asked for a review thing, you had to then hunt out all the paperwork, do all that. So I mean, it was, and they would deduct your rent if you earned too much that week or whatever that for it. So I mean, you know, it wasn't a handout as such. Well, I suppose it was a handout, but yeah. But I managed to get that all set up and everything else, and we moved out bit by bit, which was really lucky. So it wasn't like one massive day moving out where they could, you know, go and trash the joint. I was really gutted because I had my own lovely little utility room, which I made out of the outhouse, and it was you know, there was a door for the inside to you know, they kicked down the cupboard door for the coat cupboard in the house, and kicked and knocked through to the coal shed as was, and created a utility room in there. Had my new boiler, and yeah, it was new gas central heating, new kitchen, new bathroom, did all the things, and you know, then I was basically screwed over by the council. And yeah, but then I moved out bit by bit, and the last time I needed a van just to get the heavier stuff and the big stuff, because I'd done everything in boxes, and every time I went out with boxes in the car, I would say yes, and they'd say, oh, where are you off to, Kathy? I said, oh, charity shop, run. And I wasn't, I was taking it all to the to my new place. Yeah, so I did that, and then the last day I was I had to get a little van, and my mate, he drove it. My mate's husband drove it for me and filled it all up, and that was the only bit I was really worried about, because I thought, you know, eek. And as we were driving out of the place, the ones that started all the crap were driving in, and you could see the little kid's face, the little boy's face. He was about 8, and he was a right sod, he really was. And he just gave me one of those looks. And I heard afterwards that they were saying, yeah, we got her off the estate, ha ha ha. And I just thought, yeah, but you're still on it. I said, I've escaped. I'm in happy land in comparison. But it did take me ages and ages to relax. I was so concerned about my neighbours. I was really worried about what they were going to be like. But where I moved to, it was a semi-detached bungalow type thing, you know, one of those dormer bungalows, I think they call it. And the neighbours were lovely, and that was, I think it was empty for a while actually. And then when they moved in, I was like a bit scared, but they were really nice. And yeah, so it was so it's good. So up to that point, when I was at the old place, I was like going out and scrubbing down at the windows and scrubbing all the shit and all the whatever was thrown at the windows off, and basically saying to myself, well, I thank them for doing this, because if they hadn't done this, I wouldn't clean. I'd be lazy and just let it be. But I thank them for this, and I used to do that quite often, quite regularly. So trying to convince myself basically. But I mean, God, yeah, we'd have people, you know, with air rifles aiming at the windows and aiming at our kids. I mean, my daughter just walked past one window when there was a bang bang, and luckily it was an air rifle, because the bullets didn't make it through the second part of the double glazing. So that was, we were very lucky. I used to go down the council with reams and reams, I mean literally reams and reams, this is on a weekly event basis, of all the things that had happened and the threats. And I had one of those, what's it, portable cassette players that so I recorded the neighbour's dad, the children's dad. Oh God, he used to think he was it. And he was only like about, what, 5'7", if that. And I used to call him Lord Farquaad, because he reminded me of Lord Farquaad from Shrek. And the way he used to try and pull up his trousers to make himself look bigger, you know, he'd try and, it was like, yeah, one of those things, you know, like pulling from the waistband to try and make him, I look more taller than I am. And I used to laugh at him. But he used to threaten to burn my house down and all kinds of things. And I'd take that to the council. And every week I'd be down there with lots of papers, you know, filling in their forms of their complaints forms for, you know, neighbours and things like that and what happened. And photographs of like the whole gang of 30 plus kids outside my house. CCTV camera in my property showing them, you know, that just focused on my property, on my car mainly, and oh God, the things, you know, the kids used to there was one kid who would drop his trousers, turn around and moon at me, and then turn around and call me a pedo. And you know, it was like set up or what. Nothing came of that, and the police didn't do anything either. They took the stuff from Brightly, but they didn't do anything. Hey, you know, probably wasn't the only one on that estate who had that kind of thing. And yeah, and the council said, what's this? Is this for how long's this for? The last 6 months? And I went, no. And the time I was taking it in, it was like for the past 4 days. I said, 4 days, I think. And he went, oh. And I even took down the brick, and there was a bullet once, if I remember rightly. Yeah, and because the wall outside used to be awash with like little holes from things. I did have the police up a couple of times on certain things because it was, you know, ballistics. They took things off and went away, but heard nothing of it. Basically, I think the answer was, oh no, I did. They said, well, we've got no proof or evidence of who it was that did it, and there's no way of sort of finding out who did it, but we've logged you, so if it does happen again and we do find out, we can then match things to whatever. And I thought, oh great. Yeah, so kids were stressed. Yeah, and yeah, it was a bit crazy. A bit crazy. I'm so glad we moved out though, but it did take me years to get beyond it. I definitely have PTSD from it, that's for sure. Yeah. Oh yes, these things that we have that are definitely make us and break us and remake us. Yeah. I'm now following, aren't I? I'm chasing the K's now. This is crazy. I was only supposed to do a strip at a time, and now I'm chasing the K's. Right. I'll finish this little stretch of K's. I'm not going to go on further because you... Oh, it's done it again. Why is it doing that? Right, let's try. I mean, that's tight. That's tight. Shouldn't be moving. Oh, maybe it's time to stop this whip and chat. Maybe so. Yeah, I think I probably will, because I think I'm probably just going to have more worries, more things going across. Well, I haven't done much, have I? Well, I suppose I've done not too bad. Done all this. Yeah, so I shall leave that for now. Waffle over. Thank God you say you've shut off. You know, 30-40 minutes back. But for those that have got this far, I love you to bits, and thank you so very, very, very much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. I shall be doing a, I've got a kitting down one that I have to do. And then I have several kittings up that I'm going to be doing. But I can't remember what's coming up next. There is an unboxing at some point. So we've just had something on Friday, haven't we? And where is it? Oh, I don't want that.
Oh, my word.
No, don't want that. Right, so 1 hour ago. So Friday went up on Saturday. Oh. So I've got an unboxing out now, which is Wonky Circles in Space. It's a Diamond Art Studio diamond painting, so you know it's a shortish one. So you can go and watch that if you like. It's a really nice one. It's from their Wonky range. Yes, so I've done that one. So I think the kitting up for that, have I done it? Yes, I've done the kitting up for that one, and that'll be up next week. So yes, we're getting there. I'm trying to be more consistent, at least 2 times a week, have a post up of some sort. And yes, so I'll see you in the next one. If you have any questions,
whack them down in the old what's it called, Flip box comments below, and I will see you then, and I'll try and answer them. Okay, please like, comment and subscribe. Definitely subscribe, that is the big one that helps me out most, and I will say ta-da.